Hi, I'm Sharon Burns, owner and operator at ARC's Catering. And you know we are cooking with Sharon, the business chat. I am so super excited to have this guest here today. She's very special. We'll get into all that, in our chatting, but we have Anshia Crooms here today. And as you know, Anshia, we kind of put this together because, a lot of major decisions of life, of business, it's surrounded by food.
Absolutely.
So I figured I would cook something up for you.
Okay.
And we would chat it up. And you can tell us about your journey because, this girl's doing the thing, y'all. She looks young and she is young. So that means she started this a long time ago and she's still in the game. So we're going to get into that. But before we get started, I would like a beverage.
Yes, of course.
Would you like something to drink?
I would, thank you.
So usually we focus on, all Black vendors if we can. And this just happens to be, I've never tried it, but Mary J has a wine. Have you tried it?
Not yet.
Okay, well, we're going to be sampling today. Sun Goddess. It's a Pinot Grigio. I know Mary doesn't need a whole bunch of pubbing, but she's a Black woman and she's an entrepreneur, and we like wine. So
yes, we do.
Let's get started.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to start cooking over here, and I'm just going to have Anshia just talk about herself, a couple minutes. Tell us, how you started, a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, Sharon, thank you for having me today. So can we cheers to that?
Absolutely. Yes.
My name is Anshia Crooms. I'm the CEO and founder of Bryceland Entertainment Group. And what we do at Bryceland, we specialize in talent booking, talent buying, event programming. I started Bryceland at the age of 23 years old.
23?
23 years old. And I won't tell you how old I am now, but let's just say that was 15 years ago.
You do the math.
Yeah, so we have clients that we represent, such as Eric Robeson. We do international booking for PJ Morton and Maroon 5. Mamuna Youssef, a.k.a. Mumu Fresh, Kevin Ross, and a plethora of other different artists. And we own a music festival called the Language of Love Music and Arts Festival. And I also own a nonprofit called Project Hygiene with my twin sister, Anshia. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm also a wife and a new mom.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Well, I know a little bit more about her. I just need to know, where did you go to school?
I went to the Bowie State University at HBCU.
Y'all know that I'm FAMU pride over here. So we'll let her slide because it is another HBCU.
Okay.
And it's a good one too. But I just, had to give a shout out to all the HBCUs out there. Specifically,
yes,
Bowie.
Yes, Bowie State.
Bowie State. Bowie State.
Very clear.
State. Okay. Okay, so you mentioned that, you started when you were 23.
Yes.
So most 23-years don't know what the heck they're doing. You went to school. What was your degree in?
Sure. So at Bowie, I studied communication, broadcast journalism, and I also have my master's degree in film from the New School in New York City. But I've known what I wanted to do since I was 13 years old. I remember at the age of 11, my parents buying me a camera called the Tyco Cam, where you would basically plug it up to the VCR, and I would film people around my house. And then by 13, there was a movie called Jerry Maguire. This famous line that says, "Show me the money." And I was like, oh, I want to be an agent. So also what I didn't say about my company is I'm a booking agent. So that's what I do for my clients. We book concerts internationally and domestically. And so that's how I really knew what I wanted to do. So when I went to Bowie, that was my major. And I wanted to be a little ditty. I wanted to, be like Suzanne DePass and Quincy Jones and Barry Gordy and all those wonderful people that came before me. And so I started interning. My first internship was with Hidden Beach Records.
Okay.
So when I was in college. Jill Scott, yes.
Okay.
Kendrick the Family Soul.
Okay.
And so Hidden Beach would send me records, and I would promote them on my campus as a radio program director and throw little parties and events based on what the label was providing me with. And when I got to New York, I also interned at Def Jam and Motown. And so that's a little bit about the beginning stuff. So I was on my way to trying to figure out what an agent was doing, but also what artist development was doing. And I just love music and arts and entertainment, period.
Okay. So is anyone in your family in the entertainment business? Where did this passion come from?
No. Well, like I said, at 11, Spike Lee came out with the movie Crooklyn. Okay. And I remember watching that movie at 11. And I like the way that he scored the music to the movie, but I also like the cinematography in the movie. And I was like, you know what? I want to do that one day. And so I just kind of followed that path of like, you know, back then you didn't see a lot of women that looked like us in the industry on camera. You saw them acting, but you didn't see them behind the scenes. So I said, you know, I want to get into that. It wasn't until I got to Bowie and I understood more what was behind the scenes and of film and TV. And when I got to New York, I just had this innate feeling like this is what I want to do. I think I was born to do it. No, but my parents, you know, they had 9-to-5 jobs. They wanted my sister and I to get a corporate America job.
I was just about to say, so if they had 9-to-5 jobs, because I've heard that before.
Yes.
I think my parents wanted me to be, you know, I did start off, obviously, in corporate America, but, you know, stay in it. That was something that, you know, old school parents just, you know, so what did your parents say? When, I mean, you're straight out of college.
Straight out of college, 21.
And they spent this money, I don't know how, if you were on scholarship, or if they spent their hard, good money to get you through school. Yeah. And then you sit up and you tell them that.
I'm moving to New York.
Now, girl.
I'm moving to New York. So when I graduated from Bowie, I went straight into my master's program. So I still went to school after the fact. Okay. And so, I mean, with my parents' help and student loans, I put myself through grad school with their help too. I will say that. So. But before I got to grad school, my parents wanted us to get a job, like entrepreneurship. Like, what was that?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
15, 16 years ago.
Right.
They, you know, like I said, they had 9-to-5 jobs. They couldn't even imagine what that looked like. And I think, you know, as I started my business and they've grown with me, they have a better understanding. But at first it was really like, no, go get a job, have stability. Right. Because I did grow up in a middle class. My parents, you know, even if they struggled, I didn't know it.
Right.
So we were very blessed in that result of everything. But that's what they knew, but that's not what I wanted. And I came from the country. Okay. So I was like this little girl who had big dreams.
Country?
I'm from the country, yes.
I didn't know that.
The Eastern Shore, yes.
Okay. That's considered country?
Yeah. Yes, it is actually. It is. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that, but I grew up in the country. You just wouldn't know it. No. Because I always wanted to, you know, follow my dreams. And I always believed that my own backyard the world is much bigger. Right. In my own backyard.
Right, so, right. Yeah. Okay, so right out of college, you went to New York, and then, I mean, New York is kind of expensive.
It is.
So
it is.
You're doing everything that we're thinking.
At 21, at that.
Right, right. What in the world is wrong with her? That's what, you know, some people would probably think. Yeah. So, okay, did you have money saved up?
I did not. I had student loans.
Okay.
So my rent, I found an apartment in Harlem. My parents paid a portion. I paid a portion. Okay. And I survived off of student loans. You probably shouldn't do that, and I probably shouldn't tell you to do that. But I did it.
But it worked.
It worked for me. It did work for me. And I got a little job.
I was about to say,
I worked in retail like everybody else. I went to school full time. So I had, you know, student money coming in from that. I worked on campus at the new school, and I worked at Lord & Taylor in the shoe department on commission. Okay. So I was hustling those shoes.
You've been hustling all your life, it seems like.
I have been, actually.
So you didn't have a whole lot of money, that's normal for most small business owners starting up. So you got to New York, and then did you just say, hey, I want to start?
No. So what ended up happening, I actually ended up working for another company called Central Park Summer Stage. Okay. You know anything about Summer Stage? It's an outdoor music festival. It's been around now almost 30 years. I worked at music programming. I started there at 22, and I learned how to book and buy talent. Okay. On top of working at my school campus job and working at Lord & Taylor. And from there, you know, I actually was at the same time was interning at Def Jam in Motown at that time. But that was a time in the industry. Jay-Z was the president of Def Jam. And once a lot of people started to get laid off, and I can see what was happening inside of these labels, I said, you know, I want to do this on my own. So from what I learned from Hidden Beach to TV One to, which I didn't say, to Def Jam and Motown, I said, you know, I'm going to start my own company, and I'm going to apply what I've learned in school and what I learned from these internships and start Bryceland. And like I said, I wanted to be like the little Miss Diddy. You know, I thought I was Sean Puffy Combs Jr., okay?
And you are. Yeah. I mean, but you're a better version of him.
I try to be. But I was following in their footsteps, and I was like, New York is the place where I need to be. So from everything that I was learning at that time, I just applied it to my company. I started out as a young manager.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, but taking what?
No, yeah, a young manager, and I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But yeah.
So did you start off just by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then what did you do first? Because I've talked to some other people that
Sure.
that have been chatting with me,
Okay.
and one person in particular didn't even have a bank account.
Oh yeah.
You know, what did you do? Because you're starting from ground zero. You don't really have an example, like a true example or something to follow. So what did you do first?
So I actually started my LLC first.
Okay.
I had my roommate at the time actually started a business. So she had books laying around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually watching her.
Okay.
I almost feel like she was molding me into this businesswoman. So I watched her start a business, and then I said, you know what, let me try it myself. So I Googled, not really Googled, Yahoo'd at the time.
Right.
and how to start a business. And that's how I learned about the limited liability company and then starting the bank account from there. And while I was in grad school, I wasn't for grad school for film, but I had media economics classes. I had business classes.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not dumb. You know, I'm gonna do research. If you're gonna go to grad school, you know you're gonna research.
Right,
so
right.
That's one thing I learned how to do while I was in school. So the first thing I actually did was find out what my name was going to be.
Okay. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. Okay.
So what made you name your company what it is today?
So I'm going to tell you what the original name was.
Okay.
It's going to be Tall Tale Productions. So my maiden name is Tall. Anshia Tall.
Okay.
And so it's going to be Tall Tale because you think about stories.
Yeah.
So Tall Tale. And then I said, nah, I don't want to because I was getting a film degree. But growing up, I never tell the story. I hated my name.
Really?
I hated Anshia. I hated Bryceland. I'm like, why would people call me? Why would my parents name me that? You know, because when you look at Anshia, people think it's Anisha. So I've been called the wrong name my entire life. Then you say Bryceland, it looks like Brickland. So Anisha Brickland. I'm like, why can't people just get my name right? But my dad's middle name is Bryce.
Okay.
And so I felt like I wanted to honor him. He's still here with us.
Okay.
But I'm a mommy and daddy's girl. So I wanted to do something to honor my father. And at that time I was growing to love my name even more. So I said, no one has Bryceland from what I can see. So Bryceland became the name of my company. I was like, no one had it. It's a part of my father's name. My brother has a name too. Okay. And so let me show respect to my family by naming my company after myself.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you figured out your name, because you had to check, I'm sure there weren't
there was no Bryceland.
Okay, all right.
No Bryceland.
So then what did you do?
So after that was 2006. So 2007, after that, I actually started my company. I formed the LLC. Okay. And from there, I then created the bank account. Mm-hmm. By this time, I had already started booking artists. Bryceland started as a management company, not a booking agent company. Okay. I didn't change that until later. So I was managing artists that I was going to grad school with, bands that
how did you find them?
I was in school with them at the New School. I was, if you know anything about the New School, it's a big liberal arts college. So a lot of the undergraduates, they have a big jazz program and they're known for film too. So I had friends that I made, you know, a lot of times when you think about people in their master's program, they're a little bit older, but I was coming coming out of undergrad. So I was still like a student, young student. So I just have friends that were musicians at New School that trusted me for whatever reason. And I started managing I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I was taking my grad school student loans and putting my money into their careers. So I was like, if I'm doing this, I really got to start a company. So I started a bank account and I just went on Google USA and taught myself pretty much everything because I'm still getting knowledge from these internships and from Central Park Summer Stage, which is music and film and TV. So I'm applying everything that I'm doing and touching as a foundation for my company. So that was the first thing. I created a name and created my LLC and then my bank account. And then I got clients and I just started cold calling around New York City for my clients for shows. And everybody was telling me no, but one venue took a chance on me and it's been going since 2007. So
who is you may make someone jealous out there. One of your artists jealous, but maybe not, I shouldn't say favorite artist that you work with, but the person or the artist or the group that may have just like put you on the map or, made you, because
someone helps you. Right?
Yes.
I'll say Eric Robeson.
Okay.
Eric Robeson, is a 2-time Grammy nominated singer-songwriter. And he actually gave me a chance coming right out of grad school. And I remember at that time, this is years ago, I was on his little social media team, and we were on a business call, and I remember him saying, who wants to, do more things on the team? Who wants to book? Who wants to do this? And I said, I want to take a chance in booking. By this time, I'm already booking shows for different bands and the little clients that I had. And so he gave me a chance. And since 2009, I've been booking Eric. And from there, because he had already had an established name, people respected my name a little bit more because I was working with him. And so I'll always give respect and, be grateful and thankful to him because he actually helped me pretty much establish the brand even more because I was representing him.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's transition a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned earlier that you're a mom now.
I am. Don't judge me.
Okay. No. It's all good. We all need a little, take the edge off a little.
Yeah.
But now you've been doing all this stuff. You've been figuring things out. Yeah. Obviously, you have to figure out motherhood. But how did you figure out, what are you doing to balance? Because you are kind of like on your own. You have a partner, a business partner, and then you have a team of people.
I do have a team, yes.
So, but outside of that team, I mean, you're like the person that people know, the name, the face.
Right, yeah.
So you can't stop what you're doing.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
Because you had the baby, and I think probably, 2 weeks afterwards?
I was talent producing a festival at the museum in D.C.
Right. So what in the world? How do you,
I don't know. I just honestly am a person that moves in my purpose and my passion. And so when I got the call to do the museum gig, literally 3 weeks before I had my son, but I was out on the scene 2 weeks later after I had my son, I knew that I could do it.
Did he go with you?
He did not go with me, but I have I have a great support system. My husband is actually on maternity leave until October. So he has 12 weeks of paternity leave. And so with the help of him and my sister and my parents, I've been able to maneuver.
Okay.
And I have an amazing son, who I'm super proud of already. He's only 2 months old. But
and he's doing it already.
It's my purpose and he's my reason and my legacy. So if I didn't have the support system that I have, then I don't know how I'll be able to do work right now. But one thing people say when you have children, sleep when they're sleeping. I don't know what that means because even when he sleeps, I'm still feeling motivated to do because I have a business that I have to run.
Right.
Although I have my team, there's just some things, as you know, you have to do.
Yeah.
And so I threw myself back into it. I do not advise that. But the balance has been a little challenging, but I'm able to maneuver it, if that makes sense.
Okay. So they say sleep when he sleeps.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
Well, before you had him, how many hours do you think as you would average as a, business owner?
For me, now 6 to 7 hours.
What?
Yes. Listen, I've been doing this thing so long that I got it down packed, okay? My clients know when to, I'm a person who likes to sleep. So you might find me falling asleep around 7, 8 o'clock. And I'm a person that gets up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I usually rise about 3:30. Now with the baby, it's been a little bit later than that.
Right.
But I get a good at least 6 hours of sleep. I sure do because I'm older and I understand rest is for the weary. Come on now. I have a team of people that help me. I don't do it alone. I'm not that person that no man is an island.
Right.
I believe in them. They believe in me. So you might slack in some areas, they pick me up.
Okay.
So let me say this. Shout out to Kevin, Courtney, and Tiffany. That's my team and my squad.
Right.
So they help me on all my projects. They help me on all my bookings. It's just not me by myself.
Well, I was going to ask you because I've had the opportunity to work with you, on a couple projects.
Yeah, you have.
And I loved, working with Sweet Locks.
Yeah, we call it Sweet. Tiffany is Sweet Locks, everybody.
She was on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know, how did you find your good help, like your good team?
Yeah.
Because good help is hard to find.
It's hard to find.
And if you're anything like me, you're kind of like a micromanager.
I'm a micromanager to the T.
Oh, are you worse than me?
I'm probably am.
Oh,
we're probably about the same, Sharon.
No.
I feel like we have very similar energy.
I don't know. But how did you find your team?
Tiffany came to me. We were actually friends. We used to go to Eric Robeson's showcase called Soul Village in New York City. Mm-hmm. And that's actually how we met. And she, like I said, she's been with me since the beginning, since I started my company.
Okay.
And is my sister, is my friend, knows everything about Bryceland, believes in me, believes in the vision. Mm-hmm. And so I just could see very early on that she was there for me, which meant that she was also had a very entrepreneurial spirit anyway. Okay. And we both love music and arts and entertainment. And so it was like a match made in heaven. I don't know. She was God sent to me.
So she's your business partner? She's
my business partner, yes.
Okay.
She's God sent.
Before you found her, did you envision having a business partner? Or were you looking for one?
I always knew that I wanted Bryceland to be a big company. Now, I've changed that thought now.
Really?
I don't want a Fortune 500 company. I want big business, but I don't want the overhead that comes with the Fortune 500, employees. But I think what we have going on right now and having contractors come in, that works for me. Okay.
Okay.
But she was God sent to me, and I don't know.
No. Okay. The reason why I asked the question is because I've had people that talk about business partners. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the best experience with business partners. And so if you find a good person, you got to keep them. Yeah. So, that's really honestly, like, she's been growing with me for the last 15 years. Keep talking.
Grown with me for the last 15 years. So, like I said, we started out as working for Eric Robeson, being fans of Eric Robeson. I like the way she does things. She likes the way I do things. And although it's my company, she still treats it like she started the business herself. Right. If anything was to happen to me, I know in my heart of all hearts that she will run it the way I need to be run. Like you said, you've worked with her. Even when I've stepped away and you just had to deal with her. Right. You know she's going to get it done the same way that I'm going to get it done. Now, Kevin came to me in 2013. I actually posted a picture a couple days ago where when my husband and I went to Paris back in 2013, and I remember him reaching out, and I thought he was catfishing me. I'm like, who's this Parisian white guy? Why do you want to work with my company? Some way or another, he found out about us. Okay. So when I said, you know what? When I go to Paris, I'm going to reach out to him again and say, hey, let's just meet. Let me fill him out. Right. I did my homework on him, went to Paris, fell in love with him. My husband fell in love with him. He's been stuck with us since 2013. And then Courtney, who's our soror, actually is my mentee, went to Bowie State, my alma mater, and I seen how she maneuvered at Bowie as a student government, vice president, and she was over like her student campus activities board, and took a real liking to her, and she operates anything that I asked her to do just the way that I would do it. And so that's been my core team, but I've had other people on my team, and they're not with me no longer. I respect to who they were to me at that time. But like you said, it becomes real weird about choosing who a business partner is. So Tiffany is my primary, and Courtney and Kevin are my team, and then we have outside people that come in per project when we need them. So, I was going to say, are you looking to grow your team, and in what capacity? Yeah, I'm looking to scale a little bit, but not a whole lot as far as employees. Now, like if I had a 10-member team, that'd be great, right? Mm-hmm. But because of the type of business that I do, when it comes to the programming side of the business, then it's fine hiring outside contractors, which has been actually working better for me, because once the project is, going and it's over, then you're done with them. Right. But I have a list of contractors that I pull in for projects because they've been great to work with and they understand the vision and the plan. So, 10 or 15 I can see, and then really, we're agents, so I don't need a whole lot of staff members. Okay. And we're programmers too, so by programming, you bring in a team to do that job, and then when it's done, you move on to the next until you need them again. So, you're in the entertainment business. We know that COVID happened. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you're still surviving. So what
We
happened?
thrived in COVID.
Okay,
We
tell me,
thrived.
what did you do? Because everyone had to pivot.
Yes.
Everyone had to pivot.
The famous word.
right. During that time. So,
yes.
What did you do specifically that made you like stand out and you could keep going?
So, as you know, Sharon, and most people don't know, our pivot came in the way of virtual producing.
Okay.
Now, I call myself an event producer, a producer by trade. I just like to produce events and concerts and things of that nature. So I said, you know what? Let's actually take what we do to online. So we started producing on StreamYard, Twitch, and Happen, those virtual platforms. And we did our first like virtual conference. COVID happened, March 2020. By June 2020, for my birthday, I wanted to do something virtually to celebrate since we were going to be in-house. Okay. So we had a concert. We had Alex Isley. We had Kevin Ross, Eric Robeson. We had Matthew Cherry's manager, Monica Young, come in and be a part of this one-day conference that we did, and we gave money to my alma mater, Bowie State. And so from there, I said, we're on to something. And then Tiffany and I had created our platform, our workshop platform, Crush Your Craft, back in 2018. And so we were programming at City Winery in D.C., and then, she said, let's take it to online. So if you know anything about Crush Your Craft, it's a workshop series about people having conversations about business, similar to what you're doing around your cooking show. And so we actually programmed about 30 people in a year's time, almost in a year's time, during COVID. So I will say the pivot for me was virtually producing. Then came producing stuff for, different Greek organizations and our organization. And it just kind of like started to grow that way. And so the same way we did with taking our talents in producing, I started doing that for my clients. And so my clients started to perform virtually. Okay. And so Eric, he thrived. Mamuna, she thrived. And Kevin, he thrived during the virtual time frame and started teaching and having people book them that way, because now the one way to get people at home was to virtually produce something or book an artist. And I have artists, so come book with me.
She's the bomb.
And so that's how we pivoted. So now I offer virtual producing as a service in our event programming. So when I say event programming, that's a part of the hybrid too. Hybrid, the virtual and in-person programming. So that's how we pivoted.
Okay. My meal is...
It smells good.
It's coming together. It's coming together.
Good.
But we need to take a slight break. I'm going to put something in the oven, and then we'll come back and finish our chatting.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, thanks. This is the first time I'm making this.
Oh, really? It sounds good.
And it's not, I need to, this was like my backup plan.
Look, my eyes was like this.
And so I just want to finish it because it keeps. Okay, we're back. I plated up something for you. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I'm experimenting up in here.
It looks great, Sharon.
Well, you can dig in and whenever you're ready.
I'll try now.
Okay, great. I did a amen. I did a crab stuffed shrimp. So, and then with some broccolini, nothing too fancy, but it's okay. And even if it didn't, she's a good friend. So
I know exactly.
So before we stopped, we talked about pivoting and transitioning during COVID, and so you did an amazing job. I think I shout out. I just I'm gonna give a toot for a minute, just for a minute. Okay, so we had we're in the same sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Incorporated. Oh, right. And so I was in charge along with my co-chair with our fundraising gala, and we had this whole thing planned. It was going to be amazing in person, but we had to pivot and transition. So Anshia was on the fundraising committee, and we were able to utilize her business, her services to transition into the virtual platform. Yeah. And I will have to say, hands down, I mean, it was a bomb.
It really was a bomb, though. It was.
I mean,
we did that.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And so, I don't know, I think I probably have thanked you before, but I just have to thank you because when you have a great team, it makes the people that are, in charge look good. Yeah. You made us look good.
It was a team effort.
You made Novak look good. You made, myself and Regina look good. And so thank you for that.
Thank you, Sharon.
And your team. I just appreciate it. But let's transition because we talked about your son. Mm-hmm. But, in order to get the son, you got to have the man.
Okay, honey, I have that.
You do. And so how did you, because he's obviously a huge supporter, a fan, of course, a supporter of you and what you do. So how do you balance that time? Because, girl, you got to keep him happy.
You do. For me, I always say, we've been together now almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. And he knew what I was doing before he got with me. But we had a solid friendship before dating. We've known each other since 2004, so a very, very long time, even though we didn't date until years later. Mm-hmm. But the support is important, and the thing is, too, he's just as busy as I am. So we understand each other's schedule, and so for us, it was very important from the very beginning, before even a child came along, before we even got married, to have that date night. Okay. To support each other's endeavors. So
have you done that?
We have. Not yet. We actually have one on the books.
Okay, on the books.
We have one on the books. A paint night. Okay. We are going to take it. Then we have his birthday is coming soon, so I have some things planned for that. I will not say. But we still find time to talk to one another, to do small things, maybe cook together. And these are things we were doing before we even had our son. And so, because we were both very busy, he has a high-power corporate job. Mm-hmm. He's also very involved in his fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And so, it's like, you got to find a balance. But for us, if you don't make that your priority, then it will not be. So we knew very early on, no matter how busy we get in life, we come first. So it's there's God, there's my husband, he's the head, I'm the neck, and we help each other thrive. And so I think having that understanding and understanding what that balance looks like. Now, everything's not peachy creamy all the time. Right. But, when you get through those hard spots, you go back and talk about it and say, how can we make things better? Mm-hmm. How can we make time for each other? Now we're introducing another human being into the playbook. Right. So it's like, okay, yes, we have the baby and it's still very new for us, but we're on our way to that date night, and so the balance is, honestly, it comes to the support. He knows, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a go-getter. He knows it's about me. If he didn't know that about me by now, then it's a problem. Right. And so I support him in everything that he wants to do. He's very involved with his fraternity, so I support him with whatever he wants to do there. So, we are going to get back to our date nights and enjoying a nice glass of wine together, which we like to do before, and other stuff. And one thing we always love to do is travel. So even when we were busy in the past, it was we'll take a vacation. We always did something for our anniversary. And even when we did the Novak event,
I remember.
It was okay, he understood that I had to produce that at that event, but we went away for the anniversary. And so I had the rest of the weekend to hang out with him. And so if I didn't have that support, then I don't know, I wouldn't be married.
I understand. I
wouldn't be married.
So for the support of your husband, that's awesome. Do you have a network of friends, would you say? Because for me, I think when I transitioned from corporate America, my friends were a little bit different. Yeah. My friends wanted to go out and happy hour, and then I still have the same, some of the same friends, but the core people that were really rah-rah and supporting Sharon are still ride or die now. Would you say that your circle has changed? Because you've been in the game for a while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say I have a lot of associates.
That's a good point.
So a lot of associates. Okay. I don't call everybody my friend. Okay. And I still actually have the same friends from college. I have 3 best friends. Okay. They're still my same best friends from 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then I have a core group of friends who I love. And then I have some sorority sisters like yourself that are very dear to me, that can get to me. But because of the type of work that I do, I have a lot of associates. I don't call everybody my friend. Mm-hmm. But the people that are still in the midst of my being are super supportive. So they support all of my business's endeavors. Mm-hmm. And so I keep them very close to me. But I do realize in this space, in this time, in this day, everyone's not my friend because a lot of people do want a lot of stuff from me because of who I represent and what I do. So I say I have a lot of associates. I have a very few amount of people that I really call my dear friends.
Well, I was going to say, because you've had the opportunity to interact with so many people that are, you know,
listen,
famous.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we're famous too. But
yes, we are.
We're famous too. But, you know, people like, didn't you say Mary J?
I used to work for her. Okay. So shout out to Mary and Juan.
Okay. And then obviously Eric Roberson.
Yeah, and I actually have done stuff with Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, there's a lot of layers to my life that I haven't even really told to people. But that's work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, but then even though I've worked with a lot of those people, my friends have been my friends. Mm-hmm. And so I still, like I said, I'm very cautious on. Everybody can't break bread with me. And if I break bread with you, it's normally, it might be business. Right. But you're not going to come to my house, have a glass of my good wine, or have a glass of my good dinner, kiss on my baby. We're not doing all that, okay? But I'm cordial to everybody, but I have a lot of associates. And I have very dear, close friends. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. And that is a great point because, you know, when you're in business, there are so many things that like people don't understand. Yeah. People don't understand the grind. People don't understand, you know, if someone doesn't show up, which your team, I mean, I know they show up, but if like for my business, if someone calls out sick,
you got to be there.
I have to do it. I mean, the customer doesn't care.
That's a great point though, because I mean, I'll go back to my best friends. Like they've been with me since I've been in college. So it's like, you know, I didn't know how they might be when it came to me starting the company, but they've been super supportive from the very beginning, and they know when I go quiet, it's either am I going through something, or there's been times where I've been on that depressed couch because like I said, I started young, so there's been points in that 15-year span of struggle at the same time too. It's either, but now it's more so, oh, she's busy. I know she's going to get back to me. But the thing is, I actually make time for all of my friends. The same way I make time for my husband and my family. Family is very important to me, and when I call you my friend, I'm there for you. So they're along this ride with me too, and if they don't understand that, then we just grow apart.
It is what it is. There's a season for everybody.
A season and a reason for everything.
So, I mean, we've talked about a lot today. We really didn't touch on Project Hygiene.
I know. That's my passion project, too.
Okay, so let's for a minute, let's focus on that because I commend you for it. I mean, I had to set up a 501c3. I haven't really done too much, but it's a lot of work. A lot of work. But you are managing both a business and a nonprofit. So what can we do? You know, people are watching. What can I do to help Project Hygiene? Because I've seen you out on social media in the community doing your thing, and we want to make it. We want to get it to a point to where you want it. You want it, and we want it to thrive, and we want to touch more lives.
Thank you, Sharon. Well, you can simply follow us at projecthygiene.org. Like I said, my twin sister and I started in 2011, so now 10 years ago. And what we simply do is we provide toiletry products to underprivileged children as a way to denounce bullying. So now we're in 15 schools. We have hygiene closets. Yes. Okay. A year ago, we only had one. Over the span of 2022, we've gone into 14 other schools.
In the DMV area?
8 in the DMV, 10 in the DMV area, and then some in New Jersey. Okay. So now we have 15 schools, and basically we have toiletry closets. So we go in, we do bullying prevention workshops, and we've been doing that from the very beginning. But the thing is to grow Project Hygiene as a national nonprofit. And so it to be in different schools throughout the country, domestically and internationally at the same time, too, because we see a lot of countries that need, and we send to Africa and things of that nature, too. Okay. But follow us at projecthygiene.org on social media. It's Project Hygiene, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We do our 990, so everything is good. You can come and check us. We're trademarked. We're great. I'm just telling you, the business is straight, okay? But no, simply just with the follow. And I say, you know, we're celebrating 10 years. You can donate $10. Simple as that.
That is an easy campaign.
That's it. That's an easy campaign. 10 by 10.
You got 100 from me.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. So, but I mean, you made a great point about following. Yes. You just said all they have to do is follow you.
All they have to do is follow us. You're going to get everything. You're going to find out about where we are, what we're doing. how to donate, just follow us.
Okay.
We'll tell you everything you need to know.
So this girl is just doing it. She's doing it on the nonprofit side, the community side, and that's one of the reasons why I think I connect to her because community, just
You're
giving
big about
back,
that,
to others. I think it's just in us.
It is.
And then she's doing her business.
Yeah.
So I say that to say is that you don't have to stop. At one thing. You don't. I mean, it's a lot of work. You make it look easy.
It's a lot.
You make it look easy. But how are you going to transition out of all this hard work, all this grinding, into just living? Are you going to do Bryceland for the rest of your life?
You know what? Bryceland will always be a part of me because I am Bryceland. I'm Anshia Bryceland Crooms. And so I think that at some point I will step away. But what I'm doing, I'm putting, systems in place for, like I said, I don't want a huge team, but I want a team that can be able to manage. And so where it's been in the past, where I've done everything, my hands have been on everything. But with some of the projects that are coming out now, I can't manage everything. So you have to have your operational team. You got to have eventually maybe another CEO because I will get burned out. And like I said, I told you this before, like I want to be 65, 70, chilling on the beach with a cocktail with my man. Hopefully my children may have some grandkids, who knows, but no, there's going to be a point where I might just be a chair, but I will always be around because it's who I am. To me, it's my purpose and my passion. Okay. So, but as far as an exit, I'll be there, but there will be people. One thing I've learned about business is like, you got to allow people to help you run your business. It's hard, but it can be done.
You can say that again.
It's hard, but it can be done.
Right.
And so even when we have these different contracts, I can't be at every festival.
Right.
I can't be at every music concert. I can't be, if my Muna's in Dubai and Eric's in DC, I can't be at both places. Right. So when I
may pick Dubai.
Yeah, I know she's going there in December. But you can't but learning that as a booking agent, I book around the country 365 days a year. Right. So I can't be. So the same way that I do in booking, I'm going to have to eventually do that for myself because you got to think about your health. You got to think about your family. Right. Put yourself first. And I'm big on putting myself first too. Right. And there's other projects that I want to work on too. So I might, you might not find me as a booking agent all the time. I might have somebody running that. The agency will always be around because I want that.
Okay. So we talked about Project Hygiene, how we can help with that.
Yes.
Can we do anything to help with Bryceland?
Yes. Okay. You can go on Bryceland's website, like Project Hygiene. You can follow us at BrycelandENT.com. And it's the same way for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But our website will tell you everything you need to know. The most important thing about Bryceland Entertainment is we have our clients. They have concerts. So this is in the DMV area.
Support!
Please support our concert tickets. I have a big show coming up at the Kennedy Center. Buy the tickets.
When is that
November 18th.
November 18th.
Okay. November 18th. Eric Robeson is headlining the concert hall. It's a 2,300 cap venue. Okay. So that's the way that you can support Bryceland. I'm also building out a festival for next year.
Okay. So is it local?
It will be announced.
Oh, okay.
It will be announced. Stay tuned.
Okay.
But it's coming. I will tell you the name. It's called the Language of Love Music and Arts Festival. Because just like food, music and food are the language of love to what we usually do.
Love it.
So that's some of the things that we're going to be doing. And I have a whole lot of hands, so stay tuned. Oh. But follow us at Bryceland and you'll have a newsletter. So
that's all you have to do is follow this amazing woman and you will get all the details. And I can't thank you enough. For taking the time because as entrepreneurs, as business owners, time is money.
It is.
And I know she could be doing a ton of other things right now. A ton. And it'll be there when she gets home.
It will be.
But I just thank you for sharing your information, your knowledge, your wealth, and everything, and just your love for what you do. So
can I say this too, Sharon? Keep going. I always say, keep growing and keep going. And thank you for having me. And I wish your business nothing but success.
Thank you.
Please follow her. Okay, she's gonna tell you about who she is. If she don't tell you, me and her team gonna tell you. Okay, and please buy her food. She did my baby shower. The food was amazing. I love Sharon, so I just thank you for having me.
Thank you. You know, and this is what it's all about. This is why the chat was formed. Is to not only, you know, cook. I love cooking, but to encourage, promote, and expose small business owners, specifically women, because we don't do enough of that. And we have our circle because we know what it's all about, and we go through it every day. But we need the support of others. So we appreciate each other. All right, hon. Thank you for joining us. As always, we appreciate you, and join us on the next episode of Cooking with Sharon, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Yay, Sharon! I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
this is good, girl. I'm tearing my food up. I know you gotta get ready for your next person. I'm gonna move to the side and eat my food.
No, yeah.